This is the longest river in Scotland, and I'm swimming the length of it.
And when I say swimming, some of that looks like this. This is the Tay in a year, swimming Scotland's longest river. And this is day one.
This is Uiscatha, the River Tay. But I'm not swimming it all in one go. I'm doing 1 day per month, so that's 12 days across a year. But why? Because I want to know. I want to know if I can. I know I can. Can't I?
I'm an experienced open water swimmer, but I needed a new project to inspire my passion, and this is it. In January, I swam from Highland Kenmore, to just beyond Perthshire, Aberfeldy.
And so it begins.
This section is a real mix of river terrain.
River terrain, is that even a term? Well, I'm using it anyway.
It starts in the calm, gentle waters that meander from Loch Tay, and then around some big bends. This was a chance to get used to the feeling of the water and the challenge, and it felt good. We picked an ideal day. The sun was shining, the air wasn't cold, and the water level was in the normal range.
Now the River Tay catchment area is huge. After heavy, prolonged rain, or when all the snow is melting on the mountains upstream of here, where all that water goes into Loch Tay and then gets washed down the river. Trees, debris, logs, all sorts of things get washed down the river. How the water behaves changes. When it's in spate, there are parts of the river that would just be too dangerous for me to swim. The water would force me to go exactly where it wants. So sometimes picking the right day to swim is going to be the challenge. Now the opposite is also true, that in summer, when the water level drops really low, some parts of the river get really bony. Loads of stones and rocks become exposed, and there's just some bits that are going to be almost impossible to swim.
After around 2 kilometres, we reached the first major challenge, the rapids at Chinese Bridge. I've paddled through here before but never swum it. This is a long grade 2 rapid, we're doing it in medium water. With me are my mates Ross and Frenchie, 2 expert paddlers who know this river better than most.
Alright, Frenchie.
They work at outdoor adventure company Beyond Adventure, and they paddle this river regularly. You could paddle with them too. We stopped to discuss the best line to take under the bridge, where to avoid rocks and where to swim afterwards. I put on a helmet too. Here we go. It's so much fun. This isn't my first rodeo. I've swum the length of similar but smaller rivers and been through moving and fast water loads of times. It's an environment I'm comfortable in, and actually, I enjoy it. I also swim with a big orange tow bag for visibility, which is attached via a quick release belt should I need to get rid of it. In some places, I might also use a buoyancy aid. Some rapids, I might have to walk around. My thick wetsuit also helps me survive the cold and bounce off or float over stones. The river bends almost back on itself before meeting the Leaven, the lion, which comes from Glen Leaven, or Glen Lion. There's Highland covered in snow. Although the Tay gets wild in high water, it's not really a wild river. By that, I mean loads of it has been shaped and managed by humans over hundreds of years. There are sections where you won't see a soul, but there's plenty of beautiful manicured lawns, fishing weirs, bridges, farms, fields, infrastructure, and even treated water or sewage releases.
Will it be clean enough? I'm taking water quality samples as I go. Now, full disclosure, I wasn't organised enough to test on day number 1, but these tests were taken just a couple of days later at Kenmore.
This test tells me 16 parameters of the water, such as pH, hardness, lead, iron, nitrates and nitrites. The results were all on the low end and within the OK banding, maybe slightly acidic, but not far from neutral. This test measures for coliform or E. coli bacteria in the water. Annoyingly, it says it takes 48 hours for a result, which isn't very helpful for me on the day I'm swimming. But happily, it came back clear, no harmful bacteria. This is what I'd expect and hope for so far upstream on the Tay.
Listen, it's January, it's cold. On the first day, the water temperature varied between 7.2 and 6.3 degrees Celsius. That's 43 Fahrenheit.
Is this still nae bad?
Could I do this without a wetsuit? Possibly, probably not. And if I did, I would just be surviving and suffering. And I want to enjoy this.
From the confluence of the Lion, the river mostly straightens out, with a great mixture of deep water and shallower swimming. Where the river is shallow, you've got a few options. Swim front crawl, pulling your arms sideways and not down. Swim defensively with your feet first, like I would at rapids. Or Superman over it. We soon reached Aberfeldy, where we zipped under Wade's Bridge. My wife was out on a walk and captured us coming through. Listen for my whoop. Nice. Today I swam 13 kilometres or 8 miles in 2 hours. Obviously that's with the help of the river flow. It's way faster than I can swim normally, and I'm glad it was no longer. I never got too cold and I recovered well afterwards, but I was knackered for the rest of the day.
That was perfect timing.
From where it leaves Loch Tay until it reaches Broughty Ferry, the Tay is around 120 kilometres or 75 miles long. The distance from the source high in the hills is around 193 kilometres or 120 miles, but I'm swimming from where the named River Tay starts. Maybe I should swim the loch separately. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below if I should swim the length of Loch Tay too.
Good effort, lads.
This is day 1, chapter 1 of 12. Now every single chapter is going to be unique. It's going to be 12 different stories that come together to tell one bigger tale. Day 1 and 10% complete. Follow along for the adventure.